We're here with Darren Chetty, who has been talking today on the good immigrant and how immigration can perhaps enhance our world rather than, as some people see it, make it a worse society. Darren, so immigration is clearly a bit of a contentious topic right now, and it's one that many people feel incredibly opinionated upon. How do you think immigrants can perhaps enhance a school and make a school a better place?
I'm not sure that immigrants either enhance or, do the opposite to a school. I think, immigrants are just another section of our population. You're right to say that immigration is contentious, but I think, the idea that we should either argue that we should in some way have to argue that immigrants are an enhancement of schools in order to justify, continued immigration. I'd rather not even sort of make that move, because I think that comes, the title of our book, The Good Immigrant, this idea that one has to prove oneself to be good in order to be afforded sort of fundamental human dignity, I think is a problem. It puts people on the back foot.
Yeah.
The idea that, no, look, I'm one of the good ones. I think it puts a huge pressure on people, and it means that people's existence and well-being in the country is always contingent on whether they're seen to be doing good. And I don't think that's the way of treating people with dignity.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of the biggest issues of the immigrant crisis and the refugee crisis is that there are so many people who are desperate, in desperate need and desperately need to leave the countries that they're perhaps in right now. And obviously places like America and the UK are seen as kind of havens, but residents here are worried that we can't take more people, that institutions like the NHS can't take that kind of level of increase in numbers. What would you say to somebody?
Well, that's certainly a narrative that's been pushed. Certainly,
Yeah.
When I watch Question Time, it seems to be framed often in that way.
Yeah.
And I think the people who've been most invested in framing that have been given an awful lot of media time. What I understand, and I'm not an expert on refugees, but from what I understand from people who work, with refugees, most people who become refugees tend to want to just go to a neighbouring country. They want to go somewhere where they hope whatever they're having to flee from will resolve itself and they can return home. Certainly not the narrative we get in the media.
No.
The narrative we get in the media is these people are setting off from all kinds of places for all kinds of dubious reasons because they want to get to Britain or, as you say, the States. And I think, we need to look at the situations that people are fleeing from and how a country like Britain, I think the fifth richest country in the world, can be part of improving the lot of people in conflict zones and in persecuted contexts.
It's been really interesting in the most recent general election to see a higher youth turnout than was that of the Brexit referendum. And a lot of political commentators have been saying that that's actually in response to the Brexit because young people very much felt as if their opinion wasn't being represented in that decision, that an older generation was deciding for them. Do you think that then perhaps there is hope that with the young generation there is more of a feeling of pro-immigration and pro-globalization and movement of people through countries? Have you been seeing that and speaking to young people? Do you think that that's the case?
That's a big question, and I certainly I don't think I've sort of got a handle on the many reasons for a larger youth turnout. I think part of it is the issues, the fact that a lot of young people are now, whether it's the university route and the debt, or whether it's attempting to go into employment and seeing less opportunities, are concerned for their futures. I mean, the idea of owning a home for many now seems like something that's really quite difficult. And we've seen that home ownership. We've seen what the issues with social housing with the Grenfell disaster only recently. So clearly, young people, I think, or many young people are motivated to to vote. I think also that the Labour Party were very good at finding different ways of engaging youth votes, of whether it was social media, which apparently they didn't invest in any great way, but just used in a more effective way. So I think that was also a factor in it.
Well, thank you so much for speaking to us. It's been fascinating.
Okay, thank you very much.